how to fire your boss, move to paradise, and get paid to help change the world. You're listening to the Victory Podcast with your host, Shane Moran, author of The Victory Book, and one heck of a guy. Here's Shane.
Hey, it's another great day. Come on now, shake your money maker. Come on, shake it up. Snap those fingers, wiggle those toes, put your hands together and do whatever it takes, but make sure you smile. Come on, go ahead, give it a try. Just try smiling for no reason and notice how you feel. All right, welcome to the Victory Podcast, episode number 5. And today we're talking about Bitcoin GEEK and the largest transfer of wealth in history that's happening not now, it's happening right now. And I'm honored that you are here today listening in. And my goal for this episode is really to make sure that this becomes an amazing investment of your time. And by the end of this episode, if you can say to yourself, well, now that was a great investment of my time, then my mission is accomplished. And today's podcast, like I said, is about Bitcoin GEEK and the largest transfer of wealth in history that's happening right now as we speak. Today's episode really reminds me of the story the late Zig Ziglar once told about an archer, you know, the bow and arrow guy. His name was Howard Hill. Now, Howard was from Alabama in the United States, and he was an archer. And to say that he was the best in the world, best in the whole world, would be an understatement. Well, how good was he? Well, check this out. He entered 287 archery tournaments, and he placed first, you guessed it, 287 times. He was so good, he had to retire early because the other competitors became unwilling to compete for second place. Now, I've seen YouTube videos of Howard Hill where from 50 feet away, he hit dead center in the middle of the bullseye. Then he'd take the next arrow and he would split the first one in half. Imagine that. So I'm sure we can agree that Howard Hill was a good archer, and there's no question about it. So let me emphasize the point about this particular episode, number 5, about Bitcoin GEEK. Now, I've never shot a bow and arrow professionally anyway, but I am a mentor and I'm an instructor and I'm a teacher extraordinaire. And I'm not certain, but I think that's French and it means that I'm really, really good at this. As a matter of fact, let me tell you just how good I am as a teacher, as a mentor, as a coach. If I could just spend 30 minutes with any man or woman who will ever listen to this episode number 5, providing that your eyesight is good and your health is normal, within 30 minutes, I would have you hitting the bullseye more consistently than even Howard Hill. It's not like I'm bragging now, but like I said, give me a half an hour and I can do it. Now, I could do it, providing, of course, you had first blindfolded Howard Hill, turned him around a couple times so he wouldn't have a clue as to just which way he was headed or where the target was. As you might say, well, now, Shane, my goodness alive, what the heck? You know, of course you could. That's ridiculous. How on earth can a person possibly hit a target that he couldn't even see? Now, that's a good question that you're asking, but here's a better one. How can you hit a target that you don't have? How can you take advantage of one of the greatest opportunities available when you don't even know it exists? But what if you did? Think about that just for a moment. Here's the reality. Now, I have to admit that I am really, really fired up and I'm excited to provide you with the following information because I know what I know, and the following information can be life-changing because I have so many personal friends who have taken massive leaps forward in such a very short period of time with the information that I'm going to share with you. This is not a guess. This is not a wish. This is reality. And I'm honored and I'm humbled to have the opportunity to contribute to the continuation of an amazing movement that began from zero just a few short months ago. And by zero, I mean from scratch, from an idea that has now been proven. Now, if there was one word I could use to describe about the information that I'm about to provide you with, it'd have to be, let me think here. All right, it'd have to be genius. Yes, genius, and here's why. The biggest transformation of wealth in history is taking place right now, and 99.5% are unaware it's even happening. Well, it's happening, and it's happening now. We're talking about blockchain. We're talking about cryptocurrencies. We're talking about Bitcoin technology, and it's changing the world more than most people can even imagine. Now, if you have children, or if you had grandchildren, or if you were a student looking for advice on what to study, or for a direction of where you think the future was heading, well, I would say to you, this is 100% of the time, as of the date of this podcast, I would advise to you to study blockchain, to study cryptocurrencies, to study Bitcoin, to study things like NFTs and DeFi, to study metaverse even. As a matter of fact, many believe that these technologies will have a bigger impact than the internet has had. Can you imagine that? But here's the question. Are you ready? Now more than ever, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchain technology are becoming common language. Have you noticed more and more people are starting to use it? Have you noticed that it's growing faster and faster? And more importantly, this trend is not slowing down anytime soon. And what if getting involved in this massive expansion opportunity was super easy? What if getting involved was beneficial to you and almost everyone you know in so many ways? The purpose of Bitcoin GEEK is to introduce real people to a real community of like-minded individuals where you get access to the brightest players in the space, the most up-to-date information in the space. And at the same time, you get access to a brilliant private members club where you can gain access and discover opportunities to generate both passive and active rewards, not once in a while, but daily. Yes, you heard that right. There are both passive opportunities and active opportunities, and all available from the same platform. Can you see why I've labeled this as genius? So what else is genius? Probably the most important part. This all has to do with an education-first approach where everyday people, just like you and I, can earn rewards as we learn about these technologies. This is a chance to access unprecedented opportunities for real people just like you. If you'd like to learn about impactful opportunities where you can choose between passive rewards, active rewards, or even both types of rewards, Bitcoin GEEK is the place to go. You are literally less than a day or two away from discovering what could be the most impactful opportunity you or anyone you know has ever seen. The very, very realistic goal and the vision is to build a community of 2 million independent entrepreneurs who are earning rewards for learning about the single biggest transfer of wealth in history. Get a pen and a piece of paper and ask yourself what it would be worth. For example, what would it be worth to have daily access to a members academy where you got the #1 leadership mentor in the world providing information directly to you? You've got leaders in the world that are providing Bitcoin information or information, the latest and greatest information on the blockchain or cryptocurrencies or DeFi and NFTs and even the metaverse and so much more. What would it be worth to have daily access to a members-only live feed and get information in real time as it's made available before it becomes available to the public? What would it be worth to have daily access to a members converter software so that any fiat or any cryptocurrency can be converted in real time so you'd know the value, whether it's Bitcoin to USD, Bitcoin to Euro, whether it's Bitcoin to Ethereum, whether it's any cryptocurrency, and you needed to convert it to know what the value is in real time? What would that be worth to have access to that tool? Or what would it be worth to have daily access to a private vault so that you can track all your currencies and cryptocurrencies from one place. Sometimes if you've purchased cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin, maybe you have some over here in this exchange and another in this exchange and get really confusing. But what if you had a private members vault where all of your cryptocurrencies can be viewed in real time and the value would be known to you in real time without going from one to the next, to the next, to the next? What would it be worth to have access to a private travel club? You heard me right, a private travel club where you get massive wholesale discounts on travel. Whenever you wanted to travel, you get discounts. And when I talk about discounts, I mean these discounts cannot be beat from anywhere, from any company, anywhere online. It's impossible. What would that be worth to you? What would it be worth to have access to a private members club and access unprecedented opportunities to generate both passive and active rewards? Are you starting to see the genius? So go ahead. I know you're not going to remember all of that, but go ahead and put a value on what do you think that would be worth. Just go ahead and take a guess. Just take a guess. What would it be worth? What's the value? I know that I can hear you. You're saying, well, a lot. Okay, but put a specific number on it. What would it be worth to you just to have access to what I've just provided? What if you can gain access to all of this? Are you ready? For $1 a day. $1 a day. Well, in my humble opinion, this would be the most valuable private membership in the world, period. Well, how is this even possible? Well, you got to remember that the goal is to build a massive private community of like-minded people who are actually earning while they're learning about the hottest passive and active opportunities on the planet. If this sounds interesting to you or anyone you know, then you need to just simply follow these 3 simple steps. So if you have a pen, get ready to write this down, because this information will not be available to the public, nor will it be made available to the public. It is a private members club. Step 1, visit shanemoran.com. All right. Step 2, click on the logo that says Bitcoin Geek. And step 3, then schedule a 15-minute private meeting for your personal details. Once again, visit shanemoran.com, click on Bitcoin Geek, and then schedule a 15-minute private meeting for your personal details. Now, I realize already on this episode it contained a lot of information that you might consider, maybe re-listening to it over and over again a few times until you feel confident you can say, I got this, I got it. So has this episode been a great investment of your time so far? As I mentioned many, many times, my personal goal, my personal vision is to give away 1 million copies of the Victory audiobook for free at victorybook.com. And if you feel this was a valuable investment of your time on a personal level, then I would ask that you consider helping me give away 1 million copies by asking people that you know, by asking people that you like, and by asking people that you trust to go ahead and download their free copy of the audiobook. And by asking people that you know, like, and trust to download the Victory Book episode here on this podcast, you'll be helping me and supporting me achieve this victory faster than it would be possible for me to do it all by myself. And so for that, I thank you in advance. And while you're at it, consider teaming up with a workout partner so that you can help each other stay on track and practice what you're learning in these episodes, and you can grow even faster together. All right, so consider getting yourself a workout partner. Who do you know? Who do you like? Who do you trust that you wouldn't mind working with, growing together with, maybe traveling the world with, or maybe you like to do that with a group of people. Better yet, perhaps you can become your community leader and start your own mastermind group and inspire people to become the experts on these important and timely topics. And by forming a mastermind group, your actions will inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, to become more, and therefore, you're the leader. All right, so that's all I have for you today on this episode of the Victory Podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And so with that, make this your best day ever. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Victory Podcast with Shane Moran. Be sure to subscribe now to be notified about new episodes in real time. If you haven't yet downloaded your free Victory audiobook, visit victorybook.com.